to our program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Can you tell me a little more about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Renuka Najit, and I'm the Programs Director with the Guyana Responsible Parenthood Association. Huh?
And I'm Norwell Hines. I'm the Youth Coordinator within the Programs Department at the Guyana Responsible Parenthood Association. So I work generally with the young people.
Okay, can you tell me a little more about the organization?
Okay, sure. The Guyana Responsible Parenthood Association is one of the oldest nonprofit organizations in Guyana. We have been open since the 1970s by Olga Byrne, who was a leading women's rights activist in the Caribbean. So this came about at a time where women's rights were emerging, and we saw the need for family planning and sexual and reproductive health awareness. So that's how GRPA was born. Over the years, we've expanded our reach, we have evolved, and as Norville said, he works with the youth program, so that's one of our primary focus, young people, adolescents. But we also work with the general population in providing comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services. We have a clinic outside of the programs department. We do have a clinic where persons can access health services, including cancer screenings, screenings for STIs, HIV, blood pressure testing, physicals, we do general services as well as focused services. In our programs department, we focus a lot on outreach and information sessions. We do a lot of work at different levels, national, regional, and the community levels. We work with schools, community groups. We work with regional bodies, regional democratic councils. We also work with the government ministries, respective government ministries, and other state institutions. So we're very, wide and across the board. And we also do a lot of counseling too. Mental health is always primary issue in Guyana. It's a very important issue, and mental health is. So we provide a lot of counseling services for relationships, individuals, gender-based violence, domestic violence, sexuality, and it's open to everybody, and counseling is also very free with us.
Okay.
About the youth program, in addition to what Renuka has said, GRPA focuses significantly on ensuring that the total, because when we talk about reproductive health, we're talking about the total health and wellness of the individual. We're talking about their emotional health, we're talking about their spiritual health too, we're talking about the health in their bodies. Young people are, for us, a particular priority because of the tumultuous period that we call adolescence. Adolescence is a difficult period of life, It's a period of change, it's a period of rapid change, emotional change, biological change, psychological change. So at that point, I think interventions which can give young people the right type of emotion, sort of generate the right type of emotional intelligence, and give the right type of information to young people is very important. So our focus at GRPA is ensuring that because of the diversity of young people, including their religious diversity, that we support young people's access to information and services that fits into their faith, that fits into their culture, that is based on best practice and evidence, that is fact-based. So we work in that regard. We have a group. Part of GRPA's work has been to establish what is called Youth Advocacy Movement. The Youth Advocacy Movement, YAM, attracts young people between the ages of 13 and 24, and it's sort of like a subgroup within the organization that is led completely by young people. Young people decide their agenda, they decide their work, they reach out to other young people, they're involved in peer education, in the counseling that Renuka mentioned, as well as they're involved in bringing young people into the services, because young people want to be kept healthy, we want them to be healthy, so it's about attracting them with young people, that young people can talk to young people, that sort of thing. So that's important for us. Our work also involves a lot of advocacy within the national discourse around those issues, especially issues affecting young people. We have to learn some stuff from the Catholic media. because you're aggressive on the social media. You've got Instagram and so on. We don't have Instagram yet. I mean, we're behind apparently, so we need to catch up. But we're on Facebook at Yam Guyana, as well as the GRPA Facebook page. So we post there and we follow, and we use that as a forum, as a platform for engagement, but also consistently, as what we're doing here, we engage the public in this discourse about young people and adolescent health in general. So that's about our youth program.
Besides that, what are some of the challenges you faced in general?
In terms of just, sometimes getting the work out there, when a lot of persons hear sexual and reproductive health, they're automatically, skewed. Their idea of what our work entails is automatically skewed. Oh, it has the word sexual in it, so it automatically has to do with sex. Well, while that may be a major component of it, there's so many other aspects of our work. So sometimes in terms of getting out there and getting the information across, it's very important for us to clear up the misconceptions and also just give people information. That's why a lot of our work that we do is focused on is very information based, but we do it in a very innovative and creative way, so it's appealing. While a lot of our work focuses on promoting rights information, we branch out and we do not only directly sexual and reproductive health issues, but we also there are cross-cutting issues that we also address: gender-based violence, HIV. These are broader issues, but issues that need to be addressed. So we incorporate that into our work. Sometimes just access to persons, sometimes it's hard to get in, get a foot in the door to really, starting the work that we want to do. But it's building relationships like community-based relationships like the ones we're building with you as a faith-based organization, that kind of facilitates the process of getting us in there. And while I'm at it, we do a lot of work with faith-based organizations. We work with the Catholics, we work with the Anglicans, we work with the Hindus, Muslims. We also done some really great work with the Rastafarians, among other major religious groups. So that's a definite way of combating challenges, because some of the work that we do, especially around our advocacy work, where we advocate for comprehensive sexuality education, which is basically teaching children everything there is to know as it relates to their sexuality, and also affording them the opportunity to get information and making informed choices when it comes to sexual debut, and also understanding their bodies and their roles. A lot of people don't understand it because they think that when we say art, well, we want to promote comprehensive sexuality education, we want the government or the state and the stakeholders to really adopt that approach. You're thinking, well, we're going to tell our children about sex, which is not what we're doing. What we're trying to do is giving them information, all the information, so that they themselves can safeguard. So, sometimes misconceptions are some of our major challenges too. And also, there's also always resources too, because sometimes the amount of work that we want to do, we do not have enough human resources or sometimes financial resources to really get out there and, expand as much as we would like. Like, we would love to get into the interior of Guyana, and we're working toward that. But I like to say that, if you're going to do work in the interior, you don't get your bang for your buck. As in, you'll spend $500,000 and maybe you'll meet 40 people. As opposed to when you're out here, you'll meet a lot more persons. But those are areas that need the information and need services. But sometimes you don't always get that, especially when you're working with, donors and under grants. Everybody wants, it's performance-based, so everybody wants numbers. Everybody wants numbers. So that's another challenge that we face. And those are some of our major barriers. But, while those may be some of our barriers, we have managed to really foster really great relationships with communities across the board, and also stakeholders. And we do have good working relationships with government institutions and schools. So while there do exist challenges, there's always going to be challenges, but we have good ways of working around them and working with them and making them, suit our purposes.
Okay, in terms of youth development, what are some of the programs you have for youths?
Okay. Well, first off, I would add that when we look at comprehensive sexuality education, as we were talking about, is age appropriate information and services. So age appropriateness is important. Cultural sensitivity is important. Cultural sensitivity, of course, also includes religious sensitivity. So our programs for young people, as mentioned before, the YAM. Secondly, I listed some 3 principles. So our approach is to have young people integrated into the complete programs of GRPA. In fact, my role as youth coordinator has a stipulation even in the contract that I have to be a youth to be the youth coordinator. So I can't be in the job beyond the age of 32. 2 of our young people from the YAM are on the board of directors of GRPA. That's stipulated also in the bylaws and the constitution of GRPA. That's a requirement. Our young people represent GRPA also on the regional council for our parent, not really parent, but our affiliate organization, the International Planned Parenthood Federation, IPPF.
Okay.
So regionally, there's a regional council, and our young people represent there. And then we've got a young person now from Guyana also who's on the governing council, which is the global governing council. So our program is to include young people as a cross-cutting, or youth issues as cross-cutting across the programs, services, mandate, advocacy of GRPA. So young people are included in general. The YAM is a specific program. This is our youth advocacy movement that meets every Friday. And that is an opportunity for young people to meet with their peers to discuss their issues, to build their personal capacity, build their skills, share information with their peers, and just have an open space, a youth-friendly space where they can interact. Currently, we don't have a separate youth-friendly space that we used to have before, but as I said, it's about integration. And within the office space, there is a youth-friendly space. So we don't have the center that is separate, but we have that youth-friendliness within the organization itself. That's one program. Secondly, there's a youth clinic, which, as we said before, it's about ensuring that young people have access to services to safeguard their total health and wellness. So the youth clinic is an initiative of GRPA whereby we attempt to ensure that the timing and packages of services meet specific youth requirements. So every 3rd Friday of the month, the office, the clinic, which is attached to the organization, the office, is opened beyond 4:30 to accommodate young people, up to 5:30. It's open to accommodate young people so they can visit it. Of course, this is not to say that the services are not generally accessible to young people. They are. But this is a specialized day for young people. So there's an extra hour available for young people that we organize packages specifically to target young people on that day. And that's available for young people. Through the YAM program, there are also opportunities for young people to interact with other young people throughout the Caribbean region. There are other YAM groups in other parts of the Caribbean region, and there is an IPPF youth network that covers the entire Latin America and the Caribbean. So our young people are integrated and involved in that program as well. And from time to time, opportunities come up for other things. Our approach is to ensure that our YAM members, our young people, spread out sort of like a web, and that they're interconnected and involved in all in different activities in the country. Some of them are involved in several other groups, and that's okay because they're taking also the mandate and the learning from GRPA.